Welcome back. Today we are visiting the Bardstown Bourbon Company over on the Bourbon Trail to give one of my coworkers a little taste of Kentucky while she's here with us. So we figured why not take her over and get a quick little bourbon tour and tasting in. So today we are going to be taking you guys through some aspects of the tour over at Bardstown Bourbon Company. Hope you guys enjoy. It was quite loud in there, so I hope you guys don't mind the voiceovers, but our sweet tour guide was saying that essentially at this stage in the process, in the vats, they are adding the yeast, which is why you see this reaction in the bubbling forming up on the mash. The mash is the composition of what is then used to make the bourbon. And what he eventually says is they get about, I think, 60 barrels of bourbon from each of these vats. And at the time of touring the facility, I think there was 6. We were also given the chance to taste the mash, as you saw earlier, and I have to say it's not the most delightful thing in the world to taste. If you like things that are extremely yeasty, almost to a fault, this is totally up your alley, but otherwise I don't think you'll like it too much, but it was a neat experience. We are just tasting our way right on through the bourbon production process, because here we are tasting the distillate straight from the distiller itself, which is what he's walking around pouring. And I'm just gonna say that was potent. Everybody was saying it burned on the way down, and now as we make our way out of the distillation side of the production facility and moving towards the rack houses, we're passing by the restaurant that they have on property. And while we didn't have a chance to go during this trip, we've actually gone with our family as well, and it's actually quite lovely if you get a chance to. However, here we are walking out to the rack houses. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. And here we got to try some of the bourbon straight from the bourbon barrels, amongst lots of other things that they discussed on the tour. I don't want to give away all the fun goods and details that our sweet tour guide told us, because I think it's really fun to experience yourself. So if you ever find yourself in Kentucky, I highly recommend that you stop by the Bourbon Trail if you ever get a chance to. But anyways, back to the tour. You do?
I don't know how I am. Got my keys out.
Say hi.
How old the barrels are, you start to see in front of you. So on all the barrels, you're going to see a lot code and a serial number. The serial number is just the number of the barrel when we produced it. So this was the 13,919th barrel of this exact same product we made. But this one right here, the lot number says 18C22. So what that means is the first 2 digits is the year, so 2018. C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet, so the 3rd month of the year. So March. January would be A, February would be B, C's March, and then 22nd. So March 22nd, 2018 is when this barrel was filled up. So this barrel is just a little bit over, 4 years old at this point, almost 4. These samples, you may definitely see some bigger chunks of char in here. Perfectly safe to drink, just a little extra fiber for you. Down there, it's gonna fill up with the product. After it fills up, I'll put my thumb over the hole on the top. When I release my thumb over the hole, it'll release the product back out the bottom. And then out, you have well less than half a barrel left, and the state of Kentucky will charge you taxes on 53 gallons for every year it sits out here. Even if there's 1 gallon left, they're gonna charge you on a full barrel and they don't credit you back. I think it's like $8 a barrel. What was that?
What's the relevance?
Like taxing you more money? Because I know you're gonna charge more money for it because it's an older product. Because typically if it's a 10-year-old bourbon, you're gonna charge way more. Here real quick. These barrels aren't too full out here, so they take a second.
On our way out of the rack house, the guide was showing us this private event bar that they have set up that's just overall quite moody and quite aesthetic, if I say so myself, as well as just showing us how old some of the bourbon barrels are that they have currently stored in here. And what he was saying earlier, if you caught a glimpse of it, was that the reason why Kentucky charges so much tax on it, regardless of how much is in the barrel, is because obviously the older the barrel is, the higher quality it's likely to be, and therefore the bourbon companies will charge more for it, and you'll pay more for it.
Yeah, we did this one first.
I know.
Because of how modern it was.
Hope it doesn't ruin the rest of them though.
Honestly.
I don't know, because the rest are kind of history based.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
the traditional.
I wonder if their food is as good as the alcohol smells.
I would assume so. I think it's farm to table too. Sadly, our tour had come to a close, and so they were dropping us back off at the meeting point for the tours, which also conveniently leads to 2 bars that they have, the restaurant and their gift shop. So we spent a little bit of time perusing around the gift shop. That way our friend could take some souvenirs back home with her when she left us. And then eventually we found our way over to one of the bars that was still open to enjoy a good old fashioned and try the bourbon slushy that they were raving about. Honestly, I think people spend quite a bit of time here. From what I can tell, they have some yard games set up outside. The restaurant, I believe, is open for lunch and dinner for select hours and days, so just check on that if you want to go. Both drinks were absolutely amazing. Honestly, I think I probably preferred the old fashioned to the bourbon slushy, but it was refreshing to have the slushy on a nice day. Overall, it was a great experience, and I fully intend to go back with friends and family in the future.